it's possible. Yeah, perfect. Hello, everyone. Well, good morning for most of you, but good afternoon and even good evening for some of you too. Well, let's say that it's 6 p.m. CEST, 8 a.m. PDT, so a full range of time slots, and we're very, very happy to have you all here today. You're more than 40 people today already for this FIRA USA 25 press conference. So thank you for your time, and I hope you will enjoy everything that will be said today. Well, I'm Gwendoline Legrand. I'm the co-director of GoFar Association, the non-profit association leading the FIRA events. And I also want to introduce my colleagues who are here, and I'm pretty sure that some of you already had some talks with them. Mayelen Kaznav, who is also the co-director. With a pink.
Hello, everybody. Hi.
There is also Elisa Abreu, who is a communication officer.
Hi.
And Marie-Flore Dutrero, I think she's also here. She was on an event today, but she's here with us.
Yeah. Hello, everyone.
And she's our brand new Robotics manager. So we are very happy to welcome her aboard also. We've been working with Marie-Flore for years in Europe for the demo areas that we are setting up. But now she's officially, let's say, employee of GoFar. So that's a great input for us too. Well, just quick rules. So this press conference is about to start officially and to last for 1 hour. The 45 first minutes will be divided into 2 parts. The first part, we will be presenting the 25 edition of FIRA USA. And then on the second part, we will welcome on stage our main sponsors, John Deere and New Holland, that will be presenting what they will be showcasing and the new things they want to present at FIRA USA this year. So we are very, very happy to have them. At the end of the press conference, we want to take some time to take your questions, of course. And we will have time to answer to there, of course, also. I also want to let you know that you will get a press release by tomorrow, and this presentation, this deck, that will be available also, everything by email. So before going more in details in this 25 edition, I want to share the floor with our guests today, Walt Duflock, the VP of Innovation at Western Growers, Gabriel Youtsey, Chief Innovation Officer at the University of California Agriculture and Natural Resources, Paul Welbig from New Holland, Director of Precision Technology, and Sundberg from John Deere, Business Integration Manager. Gabriel Youtsey, hello and welcome. I wanted to let you talk a little bit about the implication and the involvement of Youtsey and what we are expecting this year with California in general.
Yeah, so just why California, why this specific location in Woodland? California is, as many of you know, the most valuable and demanding agricultural market in the country, producing over 1/3 of the nation's vegetables, 2/3 of the fruits and nuts. It does so with increasing pressure on labor, water, land availability. It makes California not just a major market and opportunity for ag tech in the Western US, but really a critical testing and demonstration ground. Tech developed here has to deliver across hundreds of crop types, extreme climate conditions, and a complex regulatory environments. We're hosting FIRA USA in Woodland because it sits at the center of that ecosystem, surrounded by farms of all sizes across the Central Valley of California, research centers led by the University of California, food, agriculture, and equipment manufacturing facilities, and incubators as well. It's also minutes from UC Davis, one of the world's top food, agriculture, health research institutions, and really close to the state capitol. It's also home to growers and innovators who are already doing and putting these technologies to work. There are other places in California, but Woodland is a great place to host it for a second year. Back to you, Gwen.
Thank you very much, Gabe. So now we wanted to start this press conference with some key figures and to explain you that this year at FIRA, we really want to focus on showcasing and connecting farmers with concrete solutions, that really understanding their needs and ensuring they find approaches that work for their farms, driving profitability, as you mentioned, Gabe, improving efficiency and addressing the labor challenges they all face. So FIRA USA this year is at its 4th edition. We are expecting, and we are expecting even more than 30 robots that will be showcasing either in the field in demos and in static display. There will be over 20 demos in the field, and we'll come back to this later. This is a 24 figure, but we had 68 investors last year that help, of course, also make the industry grow and support it. And another key figure that's really impressive, I think, is 53% increase in farmer attendance in 24 compared to 23 figures. That means that now FIRA USA is really positioned as the premier event for ag automation and the essential hub for agricultural automation. People are coming not only from California, even if, of course, there are a lot of people coming from California, but they are coming from over 40 states in the US and over 45 countries in the world. So that makes it an international event really dedicated to automation and robotics. I also want to take the opportunity to present our major sponsors that are leading innovation. And that's interesting to see also the complementary of all of them. As you can see, agricultural machinery giants are in force, with OEMs more involved than ever. New Holland, that has been involved for 2 years now at FIRA, presenting its full suite of guidance technologies. Paul will talk about this later. And John Deere taking stage this year and unveiling a brand new machine. I also want to talk about Pennsylvania, that is with the robotics factory having a nice pavilion to really present and spotlight how Pennsylvania's leadership in ag, tech, and robotics are really involved with startups that will be under this pavilion: Bloomfield, Sky Robotics, Balance Engineering, and Hellbender. Of course, our co-organizers that I really want to thank again this year, and for the 4th year, we are doing a crazy work all together to make this FIRA happen. And that's really because we are joining forces that make it possible. This year, California, and Gabe presented it very well, there is the SIA AgTech network that will be present. The new statewide initiative led by the University of California and the state of California. Another co-organizer I really want to thank with the Walt here is Western Growers, with a very strong involvement with the use cases that they are presenting at FIRA also, and growers supporting innovation all year long. So thank you for that. And last but not least, Nayo Technologies, that you know is the pioneer robot manufacturer for in-field machinery that is a support since the beginning of FIRA 10 years ago, because of course FIRA USA has started 4 years ago, but FIRA in Europe started 10 years ago, and that has been launched by Nayo Technologies that time. As journalists, I think you're pretty interested in knowing what will be announced during FIRA USA. So these are 6 launches that I can already tell you, and some others will arrive. So you will have full of innovation, of new machines, new features that will be launched during FIRA USA this year. I want to highlight Bonsai Robotics. Maybe you've heard, and I'm pretty sure you heard about that. They just acquired FarmNG, and they also have very expanded range of robots that will be present at FIRA. AutoGenBot from India, that is revealing the 12-month ROI sprayer at FIRA. FG Dynamics, that is presenting its auto steer kit and sprayer controller. Edgetech with this autonomous orchard sprayer, Nico Robotics that will release a new robot at FIRA, and Solintech that is doing is a commercial launch of the solar-powered refill station and some Solix robotics advancements. As I mentioned earlier, the growers are the core of FIRA event, and they are taking more stage, more place at the event because they are finding and looking for solutions in terms of automation at FIRA. They know they can see robots in action. I mentioned 30 demos. At FIRA, this is the only one place you can find so many robots in action, and that is the only place in the world that you can do so. So we are launching a VIP growers experience within 2 weeks. That is a personalized automation journey for them. We want to have private visits, really tailored visits and discussions for the growers, depending on the crops, depending on their needs, to make sure that they have a very efficient FIRA experience during their visit. So just stay tuned. There will be a press release within 2 weeks that will really present in detail this VIP growers experience. Talking about growers, we want them on stage to really talk about their feedback, about their experiences in using robotics, and also to present their needs and understand if today what they have on the market, what they are experiencing, are really filling the gap of their everyday challenges. So we have four different sessions with growers that are taking the mic and explaining this. One will be about automating the harvest. Harvesting is a key. So of course, there will be one pitch about this. A wind management showdown with lasers, precision spraying, and mechanical solutions on stage. Again, only users, no manufacturers. Another one about vineyard and the value automation brings for the vine production, and how data is transforming grower decision making. You all have the full program, of course, on the website. Now let's go in the field. I wanted to present you today an improved demo area this year. For those who were there last year, so you already know the venue. The parking plot at the entrance was used with a nice area. This year, we wanted to have it even closer from all the rest of the events. So we are entering the venue and we'll have a full area, really well prepared. And I will present our technical supports that are doing a great job about that, to make sure that attendees are experiencing the best we can offer to really see what the robots are doing, what the autonomous solutions are doing in the fields, closest as possible from the real conditions. And something brand new, we will have cotton crops and tomatoes that are grown in our fields at the YOLO County Fairgrounds. Plus, of course, again, the vegetables with leafy greens, orchards, and vineyards. Maybe you don't see it very well because if you have a small screen, it can be a little bit small, but you will receive this by email. This is the full list of all the machines that will be demoing during FIRA USA. And we are adding some every day because the manufacturers are very excited about having the possibility to be in demo at FIRA USA. So thank you. Thank you to our technical supports that are making the demo zone happen the best way they can. Thank you to Western Growers, Youtsey Davis, Kathy Williams, Axis Ag, Pape Machinery, Bull Eyes Farms, Westlake Pipe and Fittings, Dystopia, and Veda farming. They're all working together, hand in hand, to set up the zone, and you will see it will be crazy. I also want to thank our sponsor this year that you may all know, Reservoir, who is sponsoring the demo zone this year. And of course, unveiling a lot of things. Now, from the field to the conference room, we will have many different stages, but I just wanted to highlight a few panels that I think are quite interesting for you. This first panel discussion on day one, that is scaling agrobotics, brutal truth and winning strategies. This panel aims to really break farmer adoption barriers, better understand how for the startup to scale, and have the feedback from the ones that are doing it. Second panel on day two is navigating the ever-changing conversation around autonomy, with the input of the AEM, Austin Gettings, who is managing also this panel discussion. And we want to bring really together experts, growers, and policymakers to provide insights on the current status of autonomy discussions. Panel 3 on day 3. How AI is revolutioning the agriculture, current realities and future horizons. Very happy to have on stage these panelists that are real experts also, moderated by Michael Hertzer from Bloomberg, that I thank also today. We'll have great inputs on day 3 about AI and the revolution it brings in the fields. Then the Innovation Day, and I will let, again, Gabe have a small pitch about that. And I want to thank our sponsor this year, Blue River Technology, that is sponsoring the Innovation Day. Gabe, if you're around. Yeah.
I'm here. Here I am. Just had to find the mute button. Yeah, so Innovation Day at FIRA USA is really designed to showcase those technologies that are shaping the future of ag, tools that are built for real conditions, solving real problems. We're really proud to be curating this program in partnership with Blue River Technology. They're sponsoring the day. Their leadership in agricultural automation makes them a great partner for this event, focused on bridging research and deployment. The agenda for the day, a key feature of that features 10-minute lightning talks from technical experts with really deep experience in applied product-oriented research and building companies that bring those products to market. We'll also have a great discussion by industry pioneers, including Gary Bradsky, one of the original architects of OpenCV and now Chief Science Officer at Bonsai Robotics, Adam Steger, founder of Trick Robotics, bringing new approaches to pest management, Nick Fisher, CTO of Agtonomy, helping lead the change on autonomy platforms, among others, from both public and private sector institutions. This year, we're also expanding opportunities to showcase that cutting-edge research and the amazing students that will be the future of workforce for this industry. Host receptions will take place during lunch and happy hour. We're still accepting submissions, especially from both researchers and industry working professionals on automation, AI, and crop-specific innovations. So we're going to close that day with a panel focused on partnerships, specifically how applied research and industry are working together to move those innovations out of the labs and into the hands of growers. Back to you, Gwen.
Thank you, Gabe. So yeah, the call for proposal is still open until September the 15th. So it's still time to apply for the Innovation Day. The Invest Day, that is taking place the same day than the Innovation Day, but it's more focused for startups and investors to meet. So again, I want to thank the steering committee that is doing a great job in shortlisting the startups that will be pitching during this day. So there is Alexandra from Acco Ventures, Connie Bowen from Farmhand Ventures, Paul Welbig from New Holland, Bijoy Shah from Earth Foundry, Trevor Sick from Food Bites by Rabobank, and Michael Rose from Better Food Ventures. They are all involved in the selection of the startups that are pitching, and they are also judges during the pitch session to reward the best startup of the year. And this best startup of the year will be presented during the award on day 3, October 23rd at 12. So you can see the list of the 6 startups that have been selected: AutoGenBots, X Machines, ABZ Innovation, TensorField, 4Ag, and Be3 Agro. Again, the list of the startups is available on the website on the Invest Day section, so you can find more information about them if you wish. Something new, something interesting, something that is very motivating is the Women in Agrobotics Award that is launched, that has been launched last week, actually. I want to thank Elisa from our team for the initiative and taking the lead on that, because it's a very interesting award that aims to highlight the work of women in the field of agrobotics, and they can be founders of startups, they can be engineers, they can be farmers, researchers, leaders. Whatever they are doing to shape the future of agriculture, we want to highlight them. So there is a call for nominations that has been launched, and you can share the link that will be available on this presentation, but also maybe if someone from the team can share the link on the chat box to apply and to share it to women you know. The call for nomination is still open until October the 5th. I also want to thank the panel of judges that is composed of a man and 3 women. Antoon van der Straten from Women in Ag magazine, that is a Belgium magazine. Chrissy Wozniak from American Agri Women, she's Vice President of Communication. Paige from the California Women for Agriculture, and Melinda Taschetta Milane, Women in Ag Tech, she's Group Editor. So thank you, all of you, for this initiative. This is the end of the presentation of the FIRA USA edition 2025. I will take questions at the end of the presentation if you don't mind. Now I would like to take the opportunity to welcome Walt Duflock, VP of Innovation at Western Growers, Paul Welbig from New Holland, Director of Precision Technology, and Sundberg, John Deere, Business Integration Manager, for a nice discussion about what they will be showcasing at FIRA this year.
Great. Thanks, Gwen. Yeah, so before we get to Paul and Sean and the great work that's going on to try and innovate our way out of some of these labor problems, let's put a couple numbers behind the labor problems just to remind people of kind of where we're at. So super excited to be at the 4th edition of FIRA USA. We put this show on because of labor. It is the toughest challenge facing California special crop growers. California is over $50 billion in ag product a year. Much of it, the fruits, nuts, and vegetable growers doing the work in California and other places. Again, we grow all over California. We ship all over the world. And labor is a huge challenge in terms of 2 areas, availability and cost, right? So if you think about an annual spend level for California agriculture for specialty crops, we're spending over $16 billion, about $16.3 billion for 850 million hours a year. 2/3 of that is for harvest. 1/3 of that is for non-harvest, things like weeding, thinning, planting, and harvest assist. And just 2 numbers to share with everybody on what's driving these costs up, making California farmers really struggle in many cases to keep up. Cal Poly research from Lynn Hamilton and Mike McCullough shows that regulatory costs for California leafy greens growers have increased from $109 per acre per year in 2005 to $1,600 per acre per year in 2024. Much of that shows up as labor costs for the grower. And because of the challenges around domestic availability, California growers have had to increase the H-2A usage, the international farm worker usage, by over 3 times in the last 5 years. And that's some of the most expensive labor anywhere, because we've got to put on top of the basic wage rate, transportation, food, and housing. That's averaging about $30 an hour. So increasingly, California farmers are competing globally in an environment where regulatory costs and labor costs are at $30 an hour. 10% of the labor in California is at that $30 an hour mark. The other 90 averages around $20 an hour. So in short, if we can't automate some of this labor challenge, it just gets harder for California farmers to remain competitive in that global market. So a quick update on how is it going with automation. I would say on the non-harvest part, it's going better. We have a number of players in weeding and the areas I mentioned earlier that are automating about 2 to 3% of the work, with a forecast for about 15 to 20% automation in the next 5 to 7 years. So good progress on the non-harvest portion. You'll see a lot of that at FIRA USA. Harvest, I think we're seeing less progress, but some progress. And it turns out to be really hard to make an end effector, a hand-like component that can actually pick and display those fresh fruits and vegetables. Harvesting is a little tougher than weeding and thinning and planting, it turns out. So 15 to 20% is the targets for non-harvest. Next 5 to 7, we'll see what we can get to in harvest. We'd love to get to 3 to 5% in the next 5 to 7 years. And FIRA USA is really one of the best places, and has been for the last now fourth year, to see everything, hear from the experts, talk to the builders, talk to the developers, talk to the next two folks that are going to speak about what's actually going on in ag tech with both the tractors and the implements and the robots, to see where we're making progress and moving things forward. Western Growers members have been a key part of FIRA USA from the first edition, because they come out and do the most important thing. They validate the machine, they put it through its test paces, they run the math, and then they make the ultimate decision, the purchase decision. Once they're ready, they're happy to buy the technology once it's put through its paces. Sometimes that takes a little bit. So with that, let's hear from two of our sponsors and give them a big thank you that are working hard to make the automation magic come together. First, we'll hear from Paul Welbig, the Director of Precision Technology from New Holland. Paul, welcome. Paul's got over 25 years in precision ag in the autonomy space at both Raven and then after the acquisition at New Holland. And New Holland at FIRA USA will be leading into automation and showcasing some of their automation technology that's coming out of the company and out of the labs at FIRA USA. So Paul, maybe a quick overview on what you guys are showing off and what you think about FIRA.
Yeah, great. Thanks, Walt. And hello, everyone. Looking forward to another great FIRA coming up in, I guess, in about a month or a little over a month from now. So really excited that New Holland will be, showcasing there again, and I will be there personally, as noted earlier. And we're really going to be showcasing innovation for sustainable agriculture. That's kind of, our broad portfolio of solutions in this space that we're committed to continuous progressive, I guess I would call it innovation to address all the challenges that Walt had mentioned there. And so a few of the areas that we're specifically going to be showcasing at FIRA is we're going to be bringing a T4 120F tractor with a precision fan sprayer technology that's there. And so, kind of, again, leveraging what Walt had described, like our Raven technology portfolio around that. So the benefits of these types of systems is increases accuracy, controls droplet size, reduces off-target spray drift, and a lot of those important factors in spraying operations of, vineyards and trees and orchards and those types of things. It helps reduce crop inputs by up to 10%. And it boosts productivity first and foremost, that really help allow farmers to cover a lot more acres per day through their spraying operation. So again, just trying to bring purposeful innovation to the vineyards and especially crop space, and really leaning into our precision application and spraying technology to help enable that to do so. So the other thing that we're kind of excited to showcase there is the XPR concept, the electric weeding for row crops. from Zaso. And so that's been an exciting area as well. So for chemical-free weed control, by using the high voltage electricity to target weeds down to the root level. So this is pretty cool technology that we've been helping to evolve over the last couple of years. And obviously because of its, chemical-free methods in doing that and all that, I think that's also meaningful technology that we're going to be showcasing. And last but not least, we are planning to bring, at New Holland, we have a technology trailer that has a wide array of a lot of our precision technology solutions that will, basically be able to be showcased hands-on. We'll have experts from the field there, probably more experts than myself to answer any questions you may have along those lines. So again, just really looking forward to seeing everyone there in a couple of weeks or in a month.
That's great, Paul. Sounds like the golf trailer where you can go get your driver tweaked in real time if you need to.
There you go. Have to pack those as well. That's a good idea.
That's fantastic. Well, thank you, Paul. Awesome. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to seeing New Holland and Raven there and bringing the folks. Now, Sean is going to see your 25 years in precision ag and raise you by 5. He's a 30-year veteran at John Deere, which means we're all getting old, but we're having a great time.
That's right.
Right.
And Sean has been focused on both growers and dealers. He was a key player. He led the Gus joint venture for Deere since 2022. And since completing the acquisition of Gus, Sean is going to remain in California and stay focused right where I think he should be, on ag tech solutions and precision agriculture, and laying the foundation for the future with the growers and the dealers at the same time. So Sean, what are you bringing to FIRA? And look forward to seeing you in a few weeks.
Yeah, absolutely, Walt. It's been a few weeks, and looking forward to connecting again. And Gwen, I can't wait to see your team arriving in Woodland. So it'll be my fourth FIRA event. It was actually back at Fresno, the very first one when we showed up with Gus and John Deere there, and we've been with you ever since. So we're super excited to be a bigger part of FIRA USA, and in fact, with Gwen in our high value crop innovation center in Madrid, we're going to be a bigger part of FIRA US or the world FIRA as well. So we look forward to that. We look forward to bringing meaningful solutions to growers that, as Walt said and as Paul said, that we're at a crossroads, right? There's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of pressure in terms of labor. There's a lot of pressure in terms of regulation. A lot of pressure in terms of just overall material cost. And I think that's the beauty of this event, is that we're all focused on bringing real impactful solutions that can help from a sustainability aspect of not just being sustainable ag, but sustainable in terms of helping our growers bottom lines, top line revenue, bottom line margins as well. So with what we're going to do at FIRA USA in a few weeks, we are going to have our Gus autonomous sprayers on hand. We'll continue to do our demonstrations with those products. Those products are commercially available today, with over 200 machines out there in operation up and down West Coast and in Australia. We did, as Walt just mentioned, we just finished the acquisition of Gus, so that is a wholly owned subsidiary of John Deere. And we look forward to working more deeply with the team there to expedite and accelerate solutions globally for that business and for high value crop growers and sprayers alike, in that air blast spraying and herbicide spraying application. We are also going to, for the first time, introduce and showcase Smart Apply at FIRA. So if you're not familiar with Smart Apply, that is a technology, a spray solution that John Deere acquired a couple years ago. And it is basically using individual nozzle control and receiving input from a LiDAR that will allow you to spray much less chemical, less material, less drift, less water, and still get the efficacy of the product on the vines or in the almond trees or in the pistachios that you want. And we are seeing with this technology substantial material cost savings. in terms of 30, 40, 50%, depending on what maturity level of trees you are spraying and protecting. And if you couple that technology with a gust solution, all of a sudden you have the way to manage your labor so much better, while also having an increasing value of the machine with a quicker ROI based on the material cost savings. So we'll have those. We'll have the Smart Apply that'll be driven by one of our new narrow tractors, 5EN tractors that we're bringing into the space as well. That will be fully launched and available at that point in time. Now, Gwen also mentioned that Blue River is definitely making a presence and having that presence felt with Innovation Day. But we are going to also showcase and demonstrate our large row crop sprayer technology with the See and Spray solution on it that Blue River has advanced for John Deere in the partnership since we've made the acquisition of that company as well. So that'll be super exciting to see. And Gwen, we just have to figure out, that's a big old machine. We just got to figure out where we're going to do the demo there in the new space. But I look forward to seeing that as well. So then to really showcase where Deere is coming along, we did reveal at the Consumer Electronics Show this past year our autonomous utility tractor solution, and we are going to showcase the demonstration of that machine with autonomy kit on it at FIRA USA this year. So we're super excited to reveal that, show it in action. And we're still working through the details of whether that'll be a special invite event or it'll just be available there during the main demonstration area. But we're excited to continue advancing our solutions that we believe will have real impact for the growers here in California, the Pacific Coast, and globally, whether it's in high value crops or even in large row crop scenarios. And then I will wrap it up with Reservoir. That's a fantastic addition, having them help sponsor the event. If you've not got to know Danny Bernstein, Danny is instrumental in starting a real ag tech incubator with real dirt on the ground, dirt. Come and test and trial on the dirt that we have available at these different locations where he's going to be. I think it's going to be really impactful as we really try to accelerate different solutions that come to market that again are meant to alleviate some of the pressures that we're having. And if you've not gotten to really know Danny or see what the reservoir is all about, I would definitely make time for it at the event here in the next month or so. So Walt, I'm turning back to you, but John Deere Company is extremely excited about the event and growing the partnership that we have there, and we can't wait to see everything come together.
Wow. No, couldn't agree more, Sean. Great summary. Great to hear from you and Paul, and great to see John Deere and New Holland really engaging at a high level. Couldn't agree more and echo with your statement. I think Reservoir is the perfect complement on the sponsor set to get here, because Reservoir Farms down in Salinas allows you to do what we're doing in FIRA, but for startups and all the time. So it's great to come to FIRA. It's great to have Reservoir Farms as an option when the startups need more than that. And no, super excited to have Danny and Reservoir on the sponsor team and part of the event. So with that, Gwen, I think that's gotta. If we didn't convince them to come yet, I don't think we'll get them. if they're not coming to Woodland yet, I don't think we'll get them. But I'll turn it back to you.
I agree. Thank you, Walt. Thank you, Sean and Paul, for your inputs, and we are really excited to have you aboard and to welcome your teams during FIRA USA this year, and of course the solution and innovations you're bringing in your luggages. I think, Walt, there is a question, I think more for Sean and for Paul in the chat box. Yes. Can you see this?
Yes, it says Tim was asking about the tech revolution, issues around expenses. So with the acquisitions of including Deere Gus and Bonsai Farm NG, it's a provocative one, Tim. I like it. Is the ag tech space shrinking or consolidating? Is it difficult for small tech startups to make it without economies of scale? So I'll throw it out to either of you for comment. Great question, Tim.
Paul, if you're okay, I can take a first stab if you wish. Yeah, no, that's a very good question, because you have seen some consolidation or some acquisitions. I would like to think that at least from our aspect, we saw an opportunity to do our joint venture with one of the leaders in autonomy globally in terms of spraying, and the expertise and experience that team has with Gus is it's amazing. And we wanted to be a bigger part of it. So I think that as he saw the acquisition, we saw a tremendous amount of value that we can now bring to market. And I think that that's what you're seeing there. I would say that in general, it's a pretty tough business environment right now. And there is some stress in the system for sure. And you're seeing some groups come together, like I think you mentioned there with Bonsai and Farm NG. The idea of the reservoir is what I will end on, because that is going to be a way to more effectively and efficiently bring solutions to market with a startup that doesn't yet have economies of scale, and then they can grow faster, they can scale faster, they can pivot faster. With the reservoir giving them access to the facility and to the land that they need to work on. So I think you're going to see a lot of change still coming. But I think having the industry start to step up and take control and have more investment and input into these solutions going forward, I think is a really, really good place to be.
Yeah. Paul, thoughts?
Yeah, I concur with Sean's predictions there and all the things going on in the space. I think it's a fast-moving area of interest for a lot of companies, and kind of as teed up from the onset as far as all the things, all the challenges I think the industry is facing. I think it does prompt a lot of innovation and startups and lots of activity around that. At the same time, the economics are challenging, and all the other dynamics in the industry are going on. So I don't know. I think it's gonna remain very active for quite a while, and how that kind of morphs in time, I think we'll see. But I just think there's so many opportunities in so many different areas. I can't see it like shrinking, or consolidating to that level. I think this just going to open up a lot more possibilities, and we'll see where, that takes us in the future. But yeah, it is a good question that probably is on many of our minds as far as where this is all going to go.
I think it'll be a common topic at FIRA for sure, Tim, world and USA. And I would just echo, throw one last comment on top of Sean and Paul, and that is, I don't think we're shrinking, because again, that 16+ billion labor number, that's not shrinking, that's going the other way for California, right, and for the West Coast, as other specialty crops are growing in Washington, Arizona, Oregon, etc. But what I will say is shrinking is the ag tech venture capital space. And so again, don't lose sight of the fact that a lot of startups that got checks in the 2020, 2021 go-go era, right, when we were at 53 billion, we're now down to 32, 16 billion for 2023 and 24. And the first half of 25, we were at 5.1. And so I think it's clear that some of the ag tech venture capitalists have soured on the field a little bit. It's our job to continue to bring the tech to the table, sell it to the growers, tell the stories, be patient, and hope that the next set of limited partners will come to the table with a different and maybe more realistic set of expectations. So the space isn't shrinking, but I think the venture capital into the space is shrinking a little bit, and that'll definitely be a topic at FIRA.
Thank you very much for your inputs again, Paul, Shan. Well, there is still time for questions, so we are here also for that. We still have 15 minutes left, so we are happy to listen to your questions and give you some more information in the chat box, or you can switch your mic on. Team, is regulation a factor in what's going on in the market?
You want to talk autonomy, folks? Seems like we've teed it up.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to say that regulation definitely is a factor. I mean, Walt, you quoted it well in terms of what's the regulatory cost these days for an average grower. It's gone up substantially, and that puts pressure on the business. So therefore, with that going on in the marketplace, we've got to find a way to help reduce costs in other areas so that we can accommodate and have sustainable businesses. So I think for sure that's having an impact in where things are going. And when you look at overall labor costs, in addition to the regulatory environment, I mean, it makes it really, really difficult to move things forward. And that's where the industry is coming to, like I said, I think it's at a crossroads. I think that's where the industry is saying, hey, we got to do something, and we got to do it quickly, and we got to enable new solutions to come that have the real impact that we need.
Yeah. Paul?
Yeah, I think that's right. And there does seem to be openness and flexibility around practical applications for the sake of, progress, I think, in a lot of these areas. So yes, while there is maybe a furthering of the regulatory environment, it does seem like in various cases, like an openness to consider exemptions or other ways to move along because of these, of these challenges. So it's very dynamic. I think, there's just always news coming out in a lot of these areas, but I think there's a little bit of a tug of war going on between, like trying to, like I said, move forward in some areas, and providing some maybe visibility or transparency. I think the data aspects of what we're doing and all that, I think is welcomed. We may look at it as a regulatory concern, but at the same time, I think we're trying to provide consumers with a little bit more transparency about what's going on the farm and origin of the supply of the food and things like that. So that's where I'm feeling a little bit more optimistic, maybe is the word I'm reaching for here, just to kind of showcase again some of these advancements, the good that we're doing, and I think some of the government agencies and officials are maybe starting to come around a little bit to that. Probably more my personal view of that than anything, but it seems like there's openness there.
Yeah, no, it's good. And then folks, Alex asked a great question. What are the challenges that growers are having to integrate autonomy into their operations? I mean, Sean, you can speak to that from the Gus perspective, I think, quite well, or the Raven perspective, Paul. I mean, what, as the integration stuff starts to happen, as the rubber meets the road, how's it go?
Yeah, so I can definitely give that a start, Walt. Thank you. With my time with Gus and working with large customers that have integrated those machines into their fleet, I think that there's a perception at times, whether it's our John Deere dealers, whether it's our employees, whether it's growers, that, hey, autonomy is easy. And it's not something where you just say, hey, it's in the field doing its thing and go. I will say this for Gus. Gus is supervised autonomy, right? So the sprayer does its work by itself, but it is always supervised. And I think that aspect or that angle is what growers have to come to realize, is that I do have to be there. I have to make sure that it's doing its work and keeping an eye on things. And it changes the structure a bit of how you do your traditional spray job. You have to kind of shift that around so that you accommodate what Gus is meant to do. And I think that as you see more solutions like that come to market, it's just a realization that some change is necessary to maximize the performance, the efficiency, productivity of the product.
Yeah. Cool. Paul, anything to add, or should we go to the next one?
I would just add a little bit that, in a confined space of the autonomous applications and operations, like, I think, it's fairly obvious to see kind of where, autonomy really can help in those areas. I think where some of the challenges are, per the question, is maybe, when you expand the perimeter of that specific operation and you go beyond that, that's where some of the difficulties come into play. So just the logistics around the various farming applications. Yes, there's an autonomous operation going on here, but what about tendering to those operations and all the supporting elements that go into that? That's where, maybe are some of the, like I said, challenges get presented. And as Sean stated, a lot of these operations are supervised, or they, all are, I would say, but you also need supervision and support and resources to do all the other things to kind of keep those machines operating, nonstop throughout the performance period, if you will. So I think those are some of the areas where, a lot of these things look good on paper, but when you start to put them into practice, like, oh yeah, what about this? What about that? And those are some of the areas I think that we'll continue to explore and provide solutions for, hopefully in time.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I'll just put a double down on that and double click it a little bit. I talk to a lot of our growers all over California who have operators and who have operations, multiple valleys in some cases. And the logistics effort to move spray units and autonomous units around, one day you're in Salinas, the next you're down in King City. That's a 50-mile run someone has to make at the end of the day or the start of the day. And flatbeds and low boys and all kinds of stuff have to get kicked into gear to make it happen. That autonomous spray unit from Gus doesn't just drive itself down the 101, folks. That's not happening. And so that's a question Mike asked next, which is the explicit question. Any progress in the autonomous tractor ban in California? As most of the folks on this call might know, Arizona is a little more autonomous friendly at the moment. And as we were joking before the call, you can take a Waymo in San Francisco and Los Angeles, but officially in California, you're not supposed to drive Gus's around fields. So Sean, you're pretty close to this. What's the latest on the autonomous tractor situation in California?
Yeah, so we do have in Cal OSHA, we have a advisory committee that's been put in place, and we've met several times throughout the year. There's a variety of different folks that are represented, whether it's industry, whether it's labor, et cetera, and the state, obviously. And we're working through it. I think I'm optimistic that we will find a way to arrive on some common ground and make a recommendation to the Cal OSHA board that will achieve the interests of both the growers, industry, labor alike. So there is active work going there. So I will say with the Cal OSHA regulation that's in place right now, you have to have, and it's a regulation that's been in place since the 70s. So it is a dated regulation, needs to be updated at some point in time. But it is put in place for tractor driver safety, because back in the day they would put the machine in a furrow, get off the machine, do some work, and then get back on them when the machine got to the end of the row and make a turn. The regulation states that you have to have somebody that controls of the machine. So in Gus's perspective, the controls of a Gus are in a pickup truck with a laptop. There's no controls on that machine. So therefore, and it's always 100% of the time supervised. So that's where Gus excels, because you're not on the machine, you're not at the controls of the machine. You're in the field with your laptop, whether it's a side-by-side or a pickup truck. Yeah. But there is, to wrap that up, I think that we are making progress.
Yeah. No, I would agree. And thanks to Maya for bringing up a good point. We'll echo an earlier comment from Gwen. There is a panel at FIRA managed by AEM who's been a key player in this discussion. And thanks to them for heavily involvement. Navigating the ever-changing conversation around autonomy on day 2. So we will have this live and on stage in a big way at the show, which we're excited about. There was one more question from AutoGenBot, LLP. Thanks for asking. As a bootstrap startup from the Indian market, what is the best way to bring our technology to pilot and serve North American market? I feel like Danny and Reservoir forced him to put that in the chat, Sean. but it bears repeating. It's one good way to hit the market.
Absolutely. Call Danny Bernstein and Reservoir.
Yeah, Reservoir Farms AutoGen bot would be the right answer. And then again, there's one Salinas location now launching in October. There will be other locations coming in 2026. Deere's in a right along position. That one in a strong sponsorship position. We really appreciate that. And then back to autonomy for one last one from Nithin. What's the impact autonomy will have on the implement and the attachments? Any thoughts on that from the Raven?
Yeah,
or
I
Beast or
can
Deere
speak
sides?
to.
Yep.
I can jump in on that one. That's a great question, and it's definitely something not to lose sight of, right? Like the implement is just as important to the autonomy journey as, you know, the autonomous vehicle itself, because one can't really do anything without the other. And so, you know, I think that's kind of what we're leaning into at New Holland, is really, you know, automating and a lot of those types of solutions. And, you know, and, you know, what we'll showcase at FIRA USA will be on the sprayer, but there's also mowing and there's other types of applications. And so, you know, that is a key requirement to actually making autonomous operations real. And so whether it's a self-propelled unit or, you know, a tractor plus implement combination, those pieces together have to complement each other. So, you know, I think, you know, again, it's a great question to not lose sight of, because they, you know, they have to coexist, if you will. And that's what we're working towards.
No, exactly. And good. I see Grace is on from Reservoir. Thank you, Grace, for that. And I will say, just to everyone on the press side and the startup side, you know, just one awareness point that's important to remember. We are probably one of the more complex, challenging environments to come into from an international startup position. I just spent a week in Denmark on their circular economy stuff and ag and food stuff. I spent a week in London and UK talking to some of their folks about the robots and ecosystem stuff. There's really two parts to market entry for the US. Number one, you want something like Reservoir Farms when you're ready to do tests and trials. And number two, you probably want to think about a partner to get there with you. So, you know, Access Ag is on the list of sponsors. They've been really helpful to a couple of startups. There's other folks out there like Access, but having a partner who knows the inroads into the market, especially the specialty crop market, in my opinion, is generally going to serve you well and is capital well spent. So I think two things: where's your home base for tests and trials, and definitely, do you have a partner who can help you out with, you know, direct market? Is it go to market yourself? Is it go to market through channels and partners? Obviously, the Gus team's got some thoughts and obviously resolved it in favor of acquisition. So I think don't lose sight of the fact that the California market is a great big market, 50 billion plus. 16 billion labor we're trying to solve. It is not a trivial market to enter. So we're here to help, and we'd love to help you startups get there further and faster if we can.
Thank you, Walt. What a conclusion. Thank you, everyone. And thank you, Paul, again. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Gabe. Gabe, would you like to add something before we are concluding on the press conference? Last word from California. Gabe, can you hear? No, nothing.
Well, he's never passed up an opportunity to have the last word. This is unprecedented.
I guess.
Alert on my phone that beeped
There he is.
immediately when you sent that. But nope, nothing to add. Excellent. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So just few key things I wanted to let you know before we just finish everything. We will have also a press conference at the opening of FIRA USA on day 1, October 21st at 9 a.m. So during that press conference will be all the main partners that will be pitching what they are showcasing. There will be 1 hour time for you to really make your visit efficient and know what you have to visit during the show. And then last thing, I just wanted to remind you that you will receive the press release, this deck, and the replay of the session right tomorrow. If there is no other question, I will meet you all for sure in Woodland, October 21st to 23rd. And well, I remain at your disposal if you have any other question or need contact to make interviews.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Awesome.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
everyone.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.